Hey, Big John here, maxing and relaxing on my front porch with a cold one in hand to bring you this breaking news video from my cabin deep in the woods, all the way to your screen. Please take a moment and watch this video all the way to the end, because I promise by the end of this video and my bottle of beer, you'll be better off than you are now, and you'll discover a genuine, fresh, new approach to starting your very first profitable online business, seeing real results in as little as 24 hours. Before we dive in, I want you to clear your mind, forget any of your past failures, and suspend all disbelief and heartache you may have experienced in the past. And let me put a pretty new picture in your mind. Imagine waking up while you go through your normal morning routine. Still half asleep, you pop open your laptop to check the weather, and while you're at it, you check on your PayPal account as well. And much to your surprise, it's just short of 8 o'clock in the morning, and you've already made more money while you were sleeping than you will slaving away at your less than entertaining day job. While you're driving to work, your outlook on spending 8 hours there actually gets better because you realize you aren't just trading your time for the same old salary. You're actually getting paid twice the amount you're used to, with only having to perform your normal routine. Soon your online business grows to the point where the only smart move is to put in your 2 weeks' notice and hope they tell you to leave sooner. Can you imagine the look on your boss's face when you tell him to do a Johnny paycheck and take this job and shove it? And then think about what it'll be like to be able to have as much free time as you want without having to sacrifice any of your income. Being able to vacation when you want, where you want, how you want, and with who you want. Well, that's exactly where I started. With nothing more than a wild imagination and a dream of someday being able to achieve financial stability without trading my time for money. I have a shockingly rare and unique message for you today that'll reveal how I traded my crappy day job, only making $9 per hour as a farmhand, to working from home and now making upwards of $4,000 per week. So pay close attention to this video, because I'm about to show you the real secret behind making crazy amounts of cash online. And it's nothing like anything else out there, completely unique and so powerful that you might want to make sure you're sitting down. In fact, it's so different from everything you've heard that you may be a little shocked. And to be honest, you're right to feel shocked, upset, and even a little angry because you're being lied to. But before we get into that, I want to put my money where my mouth is and prove that I'm the kind of guy you should be listening to. After all, I'm just a country boy, hick from the sticks, with no major education other than a high school diploma by the skin of my teeth. In just a second, I'll show you exactly how I've been easily banking figures like this month after month. But first, back to all those lies you're being told. Recently, you've been sent on a wild goose chase. You've been hearing about glitches, loopholes, and all kinds of other baloney, and you've been told that you can start without any cost. Well, I have a news flash for you. That stuff is all fake. First of all, there's no business on earth you can start with absolutely no cost. Every business has either some startup cost in either time or money. And think about it for a second. You'll know I'm right. If you had access to a magic piece of software that made instant push-button cash through some kind of glitch in Google, Facebook, or Twitter, would you sell it? Of course not. Neither would I. You'd just use it as much as possible until it stopped working without saying a word to anyone, right? Because, let's face it, something like that won't be around for long. Google has billions of dollars, and they employ the smartest people on the planet. There's no way they'd let people take advantage of them like that forever. In fact, there's been so many glitches and loopholes that have been sold as some magic bullet and then quickly discovered and burned like an ant under a magnifying glass. It's frustrating to realize that, I know. But don't worry. If you've ever been tempted by all those fake systems, you may already have a massive advantage over other people trying to make money online. I'll tell you more about that in a second. The worst part about the whole thing is that people are trying to tell you that making money online is really hard, so they can turn around and sell you something to make it easy. But honestly, it's already easy. You just have to have the right tools at your disposal. Believe me, I know this because I struggled for more than 5 years before I ever made any real money. But the funny thing is, when you've got the right information to work from, it's not only possible, it's actually pretty darn easy. Much easier than whatever you're doing to make money now. Let's look at it another way. Do you remember first learning to tie a lure on your fishing line or skinning a deer? Maybe you're a city slicker, so how about tying your first shoe? It was tough at first, wasn't it? But then over time, through following a simple plan, you'll learn to do it. And I'll bet you haven't even thought about it for years, have you? You just tie that fishing lure or tie those laces each day completely automatically, don't you? Well, making money from the internet is the same. Once you've got a workable system, it becomes so easy, you hardly need to think about it. It seems tough at first, but once you've worked everything out, it really is so easy. Even a non-techie country boy like myself could do it, and you can put a lot of it on autopilot. And let's face it, who doesn't want autopilot income? So right now, let me ask you another question. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a way to shortcut all that learning? A simple method to let you cut through all the trial and error, all the garbage, and actually make some freaking money? Well, there is. A massive shortcut, thanks to all the hundreds and thousands of hours I spent working a broken system and finally figuring out a simple, duplicable way to make fast but reliable cash on the internet. Before I get into all the details, it's vital that you understand what this isn't. It isn't some whiz-bang traffic software that promises you'll make $500,000 overnight with just a few clicks of the mouse. It isn't about PPC, CPV, CPA, or any other three-letter buzzword. It isn't about hijacking, plundering, stealing, or siphoning traffic from Google, Yahoo, or Bing. It isn't about SEO, backlinking, creating content, or writing articles. It isn't about Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or anything else social. It has nothing to do with keywords, keyword research, niche research, or market selection. Listen, it's also important that you know that you won't need things like any prior experience, any previous technical skills, any existing website, any previous marketing knowledge, or any insider connections. And you certainly won't need to be some kind of genius to work it. I'm really not kidding here. I know I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, and don't expect you to be neither. The best job I ever had was plowing a field all day long. If I can work this system, you definitely can. I was basically working for minimum wage, but the whole time I was doing it, I was trying to get things going online. I'd seen all the big product launches and all the crazy income figures and wanted some of that for myself. Who doesn't, right? Trouble was, I couldn't get anything going. You've probably been there too. Throwing away good money for all the latest systems. Never understanding why nothing works for you. Constantly jumping from one project to another. Always sure the next one will be the one that makes it. Man, it's a horrible way to be. But the worst part for me was just not putting what I knew into action. Remember the saying, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink? Well, that was my problem. I'd get something set up, make a little money, and then the whole thing would dry up because I just stopped taking action. It was so frustrating, and honestly, a really demotivating experience, one right after another. Not to mention the mountain of debt I'd built up buying products, joining programs and software that sometimes did what it promised and sometimes didn't. I quit my day job as a farmhand twice, and then had to get down on my knees and ask for it back twice. Can you imagine how embarrassing that was? Long story short, one day I had a sudden epiphany around a technique I'd learned from a coaching program I was in, learning from a real big dog online. His main technique hadn't worked for me so far, but I had the idea of turning the whole thing around and going at it ass backwards. And strangely enough, it worked. I started to see a very reliable and stable income from my online efforts. Finally, I thought to myself, after so many years of beating my head up against the wall. Take a look here at some of my beginning results. The funny thing is, after I quit my job, all of my friends thought I was crazy because in the area, full-time work was hard to come by. But in the next breath, they started asking me what I was doing online to make all this money and with such little work. Most of them were either working 40-plus hour-per-week jobs and ending up with little to show for it at the end of the month, or even worse, were unemployed and struggling to make ends meet. In fact, one of my best childhood friends, Andy Brown, was in a tight situation. He was going through some pretty intense personal turmoil. His mother had just died, and he'd got word that his father was also terminally ill. He reached out to me when he saw the success I was having, and humbly asked if I'd help him get started doing what I was doing. Without hesitation, I literally handed him on a silver platter the magic formula I'd come up with for making real easy push-button money online. The same formula I'll hand you today. Not just because I wanted to make his life a little easier and help him relieve some of the financial stress he was under, but I also wanted to prove to myself once and for all that this process, this system, could be duplicated by anyone regardless of their experience or personal circumstances. Basically, I needed to make sure what I had done wasn't a fluke and that if I needed, I could do it again and again. What happened next was nothing short of amazing. He started testing it himself, and this was the first time he'd ever tried any of this making money online stuff. Until that point, he'd told me flat out he didn't believe any of it. Here's what happened on Andy's very first test. He did so well from this that in just his second week, he was able to stop using his bank account. He was getting so much cash paid into his PayPal each day that he started using his PayPal debit card to pay for everything. Pretty cool, huh? Between the loss of both his parents and some steep unexpected expenses that had been thrust upon him, he thanked me because without the extra cash he was making online, he would have been really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Anyway, I've now taken that same simple system I shared with Andy and turned it into a cannot-fail program that anyone can use for making money online very quickly. And I'm about to unleash it on the public for a very small number of people. I've named it Crazy Cash System. And there's one thing that makes it super special. Let me ask you a quick question and then I'll explain. What's the biggest obstacle that stops people from making money online? It comes down to one word. And guess what? It's not traffic. Any fool can generate a lot of traffic. Getting traffic is actually the easy part. It's having a duplicatable system that's proven time and time again to turn the right kind of traffic into cold, hard, spendable cash. Simple as that. And yes, there's a ton of products out there that show you how to get started. Pick a niche, throw up a quick blog. All the old slow stuff that has too many variables and requires you to make too many decisions and leaves too many things to chance. And on top of it all, they leave you hanging when it comes to getting traffic. That's why over 90% of people fail to make money online. They have no idea what market to serve, what words to say on their website, or how to get the visitors they need. And who could blame them? I know I'm definitely not a copywriter and was never a sales genius or a traffic whiz. This program I've ingeniously created actually does all of that for me. You're probably thinking, what? You've got to be joking, right? What do you mean I don't need traffic? Well, let me explain. I say you don't need traffic because when you just apply my system, the traffic will instantly and effortlessly flood your sites and you'll begin making money. The secret is in the system. The traffic is just a bonus. No kidding, really, it's that simple. This has nothing to do with search engines, SEO, or keywords, or the hard-to-implement programs you've seen floating around the marketplace recently. If you ask me, relying on search engines for traffic is just plain dumb because it's out of your control. It can stop at any time, and that means your income can stop too. This is like nothing you've seen before, a completely new approach to online business. There are no worries about traffic, no keywords to think about. This really is the simplest way I've ever come across to make a consistent income online, and a very nice income at that. You see, the secrets you'll discover in this system will give you the power to write your own paycheck and work when you want to work. That's if you can really call sitting on your butt and clicking your mouse a few times work. I'm talking about secrets like how to set up the system to be profit-ready in about 30 minutes, how to start seeing results from day one. All the hard work has been done for you. Why all you really need to do to make money online is copy and paste. How spending a single dollar can be enough to set up your own personal ATM. How to wake up to $100 cash every morning like clockwork, day in, day out, on complete autopilot. How to spend a little time setting things up and then take a lot of time off, doing fun things you could never find time for before. It's like early retirement. All that sounds great, I know. And it's really just an idea of what's inside. There's a whole lot more. There's also something super important. In fact, I consider it vital to your success, especially if you're just starting out. So let me explain. If you've ever bought any kind of money-getting system or online course or whatever, you've probably hit what I call the barrier. That's the thing that stops you dead, kills all your momentum, and makes you realize that this system won't work for you. You know, you'll suddenly realize you need a massive budget for traffic, or you'll need to put up a string of websites. Or you'll need to spend several days or weeks and hundreds or even thousands of dollars just to get the thing set up properly. Or you'll have to spend days or even weeks researching the right niche to use it on. Sound familiar? Believe me, stuff like that tripped me up many times on my journey too. So wouldn't it be cool if you could also just click your mouse a couple of times and bam, your entire profit-generating system is set up for you? Well, here's exactly what I've done for you. You get your entire money-making empire set up ready to go at the click of a mouse, and you get your traffic delivered effortlessly and automatically. I'm really not kidding when I say you can get set up in less than half an hour. Once you finally start making a decent income online, your entire life changes. First thing I did was quit my job. Again, only this time I knew I was never going back. And I can honestly say, since that day, my life has gotten better and better. I now make enough money that I get to do what I want, when I want. I take long vacations, hike, hunt, fish, hang out with my friends, travel, literally anything I want to do. It's an amazing lifestyle, and it could be anything you want it to be, because it's all about having your own personal freedom. What would your life be like if you put my system to use, clicked on your mouse button a few times, and made money each time? How many times would you want to do this? Then, imagine your new life. Big house, fishing boat, traveling the world. When you're making money like this, you can basically have whatever you want. You can live where you want, even way off in the sticks like me. And you can do what you want. Look, obviously, those things are all great, but by far the most unique and powerful thing about this system is it's so easy to replicate and make money with. Because it's all ready for you. Ready to go. Just waiting for you to turn the key. You see, that's what's so valuable about this system. It's a completely new method of business. And I guarantee you've never seen it before. Seriously, I guarantee it. And that's not all. Remember earlier when I said you may already have a distinct advantage over other people? Well, I'm totally serious about that. You see, you've probably spent so long chasing your tail, running from one dead-end opportunity to another, that by now you've got a great idea what doesn't work. So as soon as you get started with this, you'll realize that it's so different from everything else. There's no way you can fail with it. So it's like you're starting from a clean slate, while everybody else is bogged down with all the other stuff they're doing. But you'll be starting fresh, so you can make as much money as you want. If you want to finally make your first consistent income online, be able to control how much money you make, and do it quickly and easily without spending weeks and months learning, and maybe actually quit work someday, then this is the one thing you've been looking for this whole time. Picture it. You'll get started in a few minutes, and the quick start videos will show you how to have your first moneymaker online in about 30 minutes. You can instantly generate all the sites you need, and you've even got access to all the secret resources I shared with Andy and my other beta testers that I've used to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, you may be wondering how much I'm going to charge you for this amazing package. And don't worry, I'm not going to try and boost the price through some shady marketing tactics. Bottom line, this is a great deal. So if you move fast and get in before it sells out, you can get on board for just a measly $1 during this special marketing test. And just to make sure you realize this is a can't-miss opportunity, I'm going to remove all the risk by offering you a no-obligation 2-month trial. Simply hit the button to the right to claim your spot now, and you get 8 whole weeks to try it out. That's 60 days, and at any point in that time, if you're unhappy for any reason, you get your money back. No questions, no excuses, and no arguments. That guarantee means you can see for sure that this thing makes you money before you commit to paying for it. And that's not something you hear every day, is it? Go ahead right now and hit that button. Now, you've already seen how much money this system makes me. And if you've viewed the video testimonials, you've also seen how much it's making other people, and you've also seen how you can be ready to go in just 30 minutes from now. So now the question is, are you in? I'm only selling a limited number of these, so you'll have to move fast. I may already be close to selling out. Look, the harsh reality is there isn't enough spaces for everybody, and this will be your only chance to jump on this opportunity for a measly $1. And let's be honest with each other for a second. You know you deserve more from life than a crummy job and a pitiful salary, don't you? If you're anything like me, that's what this whole journey has been about for you, getting a better life for yourself. Here's your chance. And remember, if you don't grab the bull by the horns right now, you're practically guaranteeing that you'll be stuck in the same old life forever. Think about it seriously. And if you want more, if you want to get further, you need to start doing things differently. And this is your chance. Go ahead and grab a credit card, then hit the button over there on the right. I'm waiting to take you by the hand and lead you to your new life. You won't regret it. Go ahead. Hit the button now.